I hope the screen is visible now. Yeah. Shall I start the meeting? Okay. Now, let me show you my setup, what I have right now. First, I will tell you what we will do today. So, we will be completing our shooting game in which we will be developing our enemy AI. It will not be actual machine learning based AI. It will be like a hard coded syntax based AI. And we will be creating our gun and gun shooting mechanics. Okay. And at last, I will be giving you an assignment also. And okay. So let me start. I hope the screen is clearly visible here. So what you can see is I have a cube here. It's a cuboid. I've named it as a platform, and there is no script attached to it. There is just a box collider which is attached to it. Now what I will do, I will just make a small material here, which I will name it as grass, and I will color it as green and attach it here. I will make it a bit big so that we can test over a large surface. So just for changing the area, we can use this. I'm going slow enough for you to follow up also. So this is the cuboid that I'm having. It's a platform here, and yes, and now over this I have a player. So in the last class, as Shifa has told you how to make the player here, this is the same player that we are having. So I have no I've already coded the player. So because I have to focus more on enemy and shooting part. So if you guys still don't know how to make the player movement, I will explain it again. I should. Just let me add material to it also. Um, Alright. So here I have the layer also, and here I have the ground also. So before explaining the scripts, what I will do is I will make some basic game design here. So if you remember how to like move inside the scene, I told you like you can hold your right click and then use your WASD to move around like this, float around in your screen, which will be helpful for you to make the game while in making the game. So what I will do right now is I will add some obstacles, add some platforms here, so that our enemy can pass through and we know that our enemy is working or our player. So it will be more playable. So let us make a empty game object here. Empty game object does not has any component rather than a transform component. So I will name it as obstacles. It will be the parent object of all the obstacles. And uh, now what I will do is I will add some child component to it. So for adding child component, what you have to do is any component that you have to add a child to it. Like let me explain what I'm doing right now is I have to add multiple obstacles in the scene. Like uh, just so like this. I will be adding multiple obstacles into my scene, which through which the player or the enemy has to move and like uh, the enemy has to be aware or has to ensure that he will not collide over those obstacles, and our player will use these obstacles to hide, like as you are getting my point. So yeah, so same thing we will be creating. So what we will be doing is we will encapsulate all the obstacles inside one game object. These are multiple game objects which will be the child of this parent object. So I have made the obstacles game object, which is actually the parent object of all containing all these obstacles. Okay, so what I will do is this parent is there. So for its child will be the different obstacles that we'll be having. So inside this, I will be creating a cube, which will be the obstacle actually. I will shape the cube such that it will meet the an obstacle requirement. I will drag it toward my game scene. You can focus over it using it, and you can just drag it over there. And let's make the size accordingly. Like, this is our first obstacle. So enemy will have to the enemy will have to do not has to ensure that it's not colliding or it's not passing through this because this is a solid object and it has to move throughout if we make it more longer, so it will have to travel side and then go to the player to reach the player. So if we have player at here and enemy at here, so enemy will have to like uh, transport from here to player. So in this way, enemy will follow the player. So now what I will do is I will make some more, and this will I will name it as obstacle. Okay, good. So before making all those obstacles, let me tell you how to make this player again. If you don't remember what happened in last class, I will explain it here also. So first of all, you will have a main camera which you already have like in the game scene. You may be having, if you make a new project, you may be having a main camera named game object. What you have to do is make a parent object for that. Like create on like press on click empty and then name it as a like camera holder, something like that. And then like I have made it here, it's camera holder, and then inside that there is that main camera. So make the transform position as 000, and now make a new script, name it as like a main camera or anything you want. Move camera. So what we will do is we will move the camera according to the player. So I will move the main camera parent object, which contains the main camera child object with respect like on the player. Like it will follow the player. So what I did is you can see. So move camera has a variable named as camera position. Okay. So what it is taking is taking the camera position. There is a game object. So I will tell the player first. So if you go to the player, you will see there are multiple components over it. So if you want to make a player, first create on 3D object and then select a capsule. So once you select capsule, you will get this. Select some material or create a material and add it to the player. You will get some of these. Then you have to add a rigid body also to it to make it move. Also, then what you have to do is you have to make a player movement script also. So before in last class, she has told you how to make the player movement script. So let me I will tell you again. First, let's see what is inside the player. So go to hierarchy again, and then add you will see there are two child components to it, which is orientation and a camera position. What orientation is? So first just make a orientation component. Just write orientation and then add it to the player. What it will do is the camera will use this as a reference to get the player orientation. Okay, so ensure that the position and rotation all are set to 0. And in the camera, add a new empty game object which has name as camera position. So camera will be placed over that position and follow the position of that. So ensure that the position is somewhat. I will go to my orthographic tool and see. So ensure that the camera position is somewhat over the head of the player. So this is the head of the player. So oh okay. So I haven't made the eyes of the player. No. So I will. I will make a new empty game object, not an empty game object. I will add a 3D game object which is named as cube as a child of the player. So I will name it as head or I will name it as eyes. Now what I will do is I will make it a smaller like a glass. Perfect. Now this is the glass of the there is like a front eyes of the player as we can like reference it. Uh, okay. So this will be attached to the player permanently. No, nothing else to do in it. If you want to change the shape, anything like anything is good. Now I have two components. I like let's come to camera position again. So we have camera position as the child component of the player. So what you have to do is I told you to go to orthographic view and then check that the camera position is placed over the head of the player. Go select on this button. This will tell you what the position, how to change, like so position changing capability. So you will click over this, and then you will see the arrow. So you have to go to the head. You will see like somewhat. You will see right now it at the middle of the player. So you have to go somewhat top and at the head because we are seeing through the perspective of its eyes, not his stomach. So go toward like the height. So what the camera will do is the camera will have the same position as the position of this camera position game object. I will go to my camera holder again. So I told you to make a move camera game object and place it inside the camera holder. And this will have the transform. It will have a variable name which is a transform variable, and I named it as camera position. So this is taking the reference of this camera as the child object inside the player and its transform position, like the script which is attached to like if I just write transform the position, it is taking the transform of the same component over which the script is attached. Like I will zoom it a bit. What I'm telling is the script is there. So there is a void update script. So what update script does is it loads every frame your whatever you are writing inside it. So if I just write like transform, if I just write like this transform, it is taking the reference of the same transform component over which this move camera script component is attached to. Okay, so I'm taking the reference of so this move camera is attached to right now to the camera holder. This is the camera holder, and the move camera is attached to this camera holder. So whatever the transform of I'm taking it here is the transform of this camera holder that we have. So if the camera holder moves, its child also moves with respect to camera holder. As uh, as one property of the child is that the position, rotation, scale, everything is related to the parent component. If the main camera is if I tell the x-axis, if I change the x coordinate to 2, it will change with respect to the camera holder, not with respect to the global. Okay, so ensure keep that in mind. Now this is the transform the position, which is the transform which is taking the transform of this camera holder, equating it to the camera position dot position. So camera position is a transform variable, and this variable is a public, so it will be shown it here. We have what we have to do is we have to drag our player's camera position game object over here. We are dragging that, so it will take the reference of that camera position. And now what it is doing is every frame, its position will be same as the camera position, which is inside the player position. Okay. So this is how this camera holder will have the same position as that of the player. Okay. Now coming to the main camera, which is inside the camera holder, which I placed. So this will also have a new component. This component ensures that if you rotate your mouse in wherever direction, it will look like the player is seeing in that direction. So I will go to the script. First of all, to make the script, just go in your main camera, attach like add a component, write player cam or make a script named as player cam or any name you want, and then this script we have to call. So I will tell this script right now. I'm not making the script because we are not focusing over this as we have already did in last class. We'll, I will write the script for enemy and now what it is having is uh, just a second. Okay, some noise. Hmm. Okay, so we have a player cam. So what this script is having is these are the variables that this is having. I will tell about this. First, we are having sensitivity, and then we are having orientation, then we are having rotation. If you remember, uh, what like before, let's go to the update, and then I will tell you what this is. So this is called at the start. This function is a start function. We'll call at the start of the game. So this is having that we are having a reference of our cursor. The cursor that I'm having on my screen, it will take the reference of that. If I am writing just capital C and then CUR. If I writing this and then I'm pressing dot, all the properties that it is having right now, like equals, reference, equals, everything will be the property of the cursor that I'm having currently. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking the log state and then setting it as log. So and then visibility will set to false. What it is doing is uh, on the start of the game, my cursor, if I'm running this function, my cursor will be hidden. Like when I will click on the game, the cursor which is showing will not be visible. Along with that, it will not be moving anywhere. So I'm locking the cursor. Along with that, I'm taking it visibility as false because I don't want to see my cursor while seeing inside the game. In update function, what I'm doing is every frame I'm taking the mouse axis, which is mouse x axis and mouse y axis. And then what I'm doing is I'm changing every second. I'm changing the rotation according to the mouse. Okay, and the x rotation. This is the math c clamp function. It will like adjust your rotation like maximum. And if you want to set maximum or minimum value uh, to a range, you can set it using math and then what I will do is this is just a rotation variable that I've created. So this is just being stored. If I explain it in more depth, so what it is doing is let me teach you in more depth. All right. So if we have a screen like this, and if I assume this is my mouse, so if I move my mouse like this direction, so this will have some quantity like how much I moved over the y-axis. If I take this as x-axis, this is my y-axis. So whatever I'm moving in y-axis, which so that y-axis value I will get it through input dot get axis, get draw axis, mouse x. Like in my class, I told you about input dot get key down, input dot get key, and inside that you write the key of that, like space or escape anything, and then it will get the input of that key, and it will return true or false that it is pressed or not. So like the same thing applies here also, but it does not return exact. It does not return a boolean variable. It actually returns a value, like how much like in what happens in keyboard keys is that if you press it, you just press it. You don't like there is no quantity of hardness of pressing. But in mouse, it depends over how much you uh, like how much you scrolled or how much it's on top or how much it is horizontal. So it is taking the reference of that value, which is input dot get key mouse x, and then what I'm doing is I will multiply time dot delta time, because what the time dot delta time does is uh, it actually uh, what happens is that if your game frame rates are very fast, like it's on 100, above 100 200 fps, above 100 200 fps. So because of that, your update function will call this several times and then increase the like value to a very very high value. So for now, just understand it. If we multiply with time to delta time, we don't have to worry about the very high frame rate problems. So we will multiply it with the time dot delta time, and then there is a sensitivity variable also. So this this is a private variable that I've created. What this will do is this is just for the user, that if we depending on the sensitivity between 0 and 1, if the sensitivity is very low, then the mouse X float that I have created, that takes the value how much the mouse has moved in X direction as very very less. If the sensitivity is in X is high, then this X is also high. Like it's directly proportional over sensitivity. The movement will be directly proportional over sensitivity. Same with the Y direction. And now what I'm doing is I am I'm creating a new variable, which is the rotation variable. Like I will give the result of a Y. So, so this Y rotation will be added with the current mouse changing value, and then this rotation will be equated over the transformed rotation. So transform dot rotation is the current angle of the camera that we are in, because it is attached to the main camera. So this is the rotation of the main camera that we are referencing over. So whatever, and this is quaternion. So if we want to take position, we write it as vector 3. And if angle we have to reference, if we have to make a variable related to angle, we write quaternion. We write the variable values same as it's the same as vector 3 here. So we write x, y, and z position, x, y, and z rotations. So the x rotation that is there. So you will write the same syntax as this, and the be limited to minus 90 to plus 90 only. Okay, so this is a clamp function. This will ensure that the max and minimum value will lie between these only. Okay, because we don't want like this x rotation reference to this actually height. So you don't want that if you move your mouse much much over, and then your player will just rotate 360 degree over in your like yeah. So for that we are just taking they're using clamp function, and then making it having a range of 90 to plus 90 to minus 90. I will and then what I will transform the rotation. Will have x as the rotation of camera and y as the rotation of camera. So this is the movement of main camera according to the mouse movement. Now we have the orientation rotation. So this same as the orientation. you will write this in the same way. Is basically same. Okay, so yeah, so if you want the code, that is already sent in that in the GitHub repository. Now, now we have made the we have completed the main camera, and now we will go to the player movement script again. I will go to the player and then tell you the movement script. I will not go much into depth because it already has been done in the last class. We have to make other things also. So uh, what we basically have here is first we will go to our start. So this script you will get in my GitHub repository already. You will go to the GitHub repository. You will go to the assets, and then inside the assets you will get all the script in the script folder. And in the start, it will take the rigid body reference. I will take the freeze rotation as true so that my rotation will not be there because of rigid body collisions. Because due to collision also some rotations come. So because of that, and in update, I will be taking the ground reference and then there are two functions which are being called in update every time. So what happens here is there is a move my input and there is a speed control. So first I'll go to my input. What my input will do is, and there is one more fixed update. Fixed update is called every time your physics changes. So it calls move player every time. So first my input is it will take your horizontal and vertical input. So if you write input dot get axis raw horizontal, you will get the reference of your horizontal movement like like A and D. If you write, it's the easier way to get your movement values. So if you write input dot get axis vertical, it will take your W and S. So that is your input. This will be from minus I think -1 to 1. It will lie between, and then there is a jump key also. So the input dot get key jump, and if there are two variables which are ready to jump and grounded. So I've created ready to jump also because like if you are jumping and pressing the jump key, and then again if you press the jump key while in the air, it will jump again. But if we have a ready to jump as false while it is on the air, then while it is over the air, if I explain it here again. So what I'm saying is we have a player, it's like this, and this is touching the ground. Okay, so it's saying that input dot get key is a jump key. So when the jump key is pressed, this is a variable that I've created on the top, and uh, like you can see, there is a jump key public key code, the variable type of this, and it is actually key code dot space. So it's the space key. So what it is doing is, mm, I think I'm not able. I'm not. Oh, okay. So what it is doing is whenever you are taking get key jump key is pressed, then this will be true. Also, this is also one variable which is ready to jump. There is a trigger method like we when it is being jumped, it will be false, and when it touches the ground, it will be true again. So if it is over the ground, I will tell I will like I will tell you what the function is where it is going on. So when it is over the ground, the ready to jump will be true. And like when jump key is pressed, then this will go to air. The next state will be like this. Jump when jump key is pressed. This is not touching over the ground. So now the ready to jump function will be false. So every time it will be checking that if jump key is pressed and it is over the air, then also if ready to jump is also true, then only this if statement will be true, and the grounded will also be true, should also be true. And if it is not touching the ground, the grounded variable will also be false, and this ready to jump will also be false. And because of which you cannot use jump while on the air. So when you are like after which there is a invoke function. Invoke function does is whatever invoke function takes. Okay, so I will close this. So what invoke function does is so this is like invoke function. You will let invoke here, and this takes two parameters. One is the function name. Function name should be written in string. Whatever the function name you have created, like speed control, move layer, anything, you have to write it in string format, move layer. And then next to it, the second parameter will be the time after which it has to be like played. So what here I'm doing is there's a function I created which has the name reset jump. So this is the reset jump. So what it will do is it will be invoked after jump cooldown time. So what is jump cooldown time? It's a public float variable that I've created. And then you have to set some value to it, like after how much time the jump will be done, like how much time the player will jump and then touch the ground afterwards. Because you don't want your player to like if it jumps and then touches the ground, it will directly you can press jump and it will again jump. You need some cool down time to it that now I have jumped, I will wait 1 2 second will be required to jump again. Like it takes some energy to jump, that's why we will assume like that way. So that is a cooldown time I'm having. So it will this function what it will do is it will be returning it will be changing the value of ready jump again as true. Okay, so I think it's pretty much understandable. Now this is a jump function now we are having, which is being called over this if input dot get key is jump key. So this is jump function, and this is taking the RB velocity. So what it is doing is it's changing the velocity according to the velocity that we are having in the x and z direction, and the initial y velocity is 0, and then adding a force over it, which is transform dot up. So what transform dot up does is it will take the reference of your top direction, like your y direction, and then if we are if we are using dot add force, like uh, this is the RB. RB is the reference to your rigid body. If you press dot, you will get different functions to call in the rigid body. You will do a add force component to it, and then you will test this. Inside this, it will take two parameters again. So first is in which direction and which magnitude, like the vector of force that you want to add. So it is like what I've done here is I've taken the jump force as a magnitude, which set it as a public float variable so that in Unity editor I can change the force accordingly. This is the magnitude of force that I wanted to add, and then multiplied by transform that up. This is taking as the reference of your y-axis. If you write transform, you will get the transform of your component where the player movement is attached to. Okay, so if you are writing dot up, you will get the vertical component of it. So my direction is on the top, which is transform dot up multiplied by prism force, comma. So this is the magnitude. This is the vector of force. Now I want which type of force it is. Is it a impulse? Is it a force directly? Is it a velocity change? What it is exactly? So I will write force mode. You will get multiple options here. If you write dot, you get force, you get acceleration, you get velocity change. So what you just use impulse for now. That will be that is more better in jump. So basically this is it. And other controls are pretty much easy to understand, which has been already taught in the last class. Now, okay, so now coming to the main things. So first, what we'll do is let us create the let us create a what we'll do is shall we do projectile, gun, or enemy first? So I think we should do the gun making first. Like uh, we shall make a gun first, and then we'll make an enemy, and then uh, we'll be completed. So first we'll be making the gun for our player, and then adding a projectile script to it. So what I will do is I don't have a gun right now, so I will go to my Unity assets store. I will go to Chrome, search for Unity assets, go to my Unity assets store. In that, I will search for, I will search for something like gun. Okay, and there are multiple assets that you will get. So I will click on free assets. So I will click on low poly because like the scene is matching the low poly design. So this has multiple game objects already placed, so I don't have to create any. I will click on open in Unity. It will do a pop-up and it will ask to open in Unity. I will click on open. This will open a package manager, and then this will be shown here. You just press on download. After downloaded, click on import and then click on import again at the bottom. You can search for this. The name is 3D Guns. After importing, you will see in your assets store in your assets. Uh, your gun will be imported. I think it's not imported here. It's here in assets store. Uh, package manager. Yeah. Okay. Now it is imported. So you will see a folder named as low polygons. Click on it, and then this will have multiple folders and a scene demo scene will be there in everything, which will show you the demo of all the games that we have. Click on prefabs. You will see prefab like this. These are the actual game object that they are providing to us. So if you see it as a pink color, here I'm seeing as a pink color. If you are also seeing it as a pink color, so let me zoom it and show you. So if I'm seeing this as a pink color, if I'm moving this to my game, I can move this to my game, and then what I'm saying is I'm having the gun, but the thing is that it's showing pink color. So what is going on here is actually the material is not matching with with the configuration of my game. So what I will do is first I will remove this from my scene, and then there you will see a material folder also. Click on this and you will see this material. Then go to graphics here. No, go to project setting or like this, and you can either go to shader and then select something like any like which matches this. I can set right. I will select here as uh, anything like this. Now this should be changed to the material that is available in the game. And now, okay. So otherwise, can press on standard also. The standard should work all the time. Now go to Free Fire again. Now drag it over here. Now I will able to see the mesh for it. I will be not selecting a pistol. I will be selecting some other game. So maybe pistol. So like this should work. Shotgun should work. So what I will do is I will first remove this from here. I will take the shotgun, uh, this one which I did, copy it. I will make a new folder, name it as keycaps or whatever you want, like guns. Inside that, I will paste it so that it will be organized, easily accessible. Now, what I will be doing is first let me show you is the player movements working or not. Let's click on play. Okay, if I see that player movement is actually working, if I jump, I'm able to jump. And if I want to rotate also, I can rotate this pretty much. The glitch you are seeing is because of the camera scene. I think it's in isometric view or something. It's perspective, so no issue. No issue with that. So we are actually able to play the game. So okay, so we can work over this. Now, what I will do is I will add the gun to my player. So first, what I will do is I will change the game so from here to here, and I will copy the camera's position which is inside the player, which is like this, or I will copy the player's position, copy, or full transform I will copy. So what is happening here is I'm currently seeing the game view in some other, like the currently the main camera is not having the same view as player because the script there that we have made, that script is working. So because of which we are able to see on the perspective of player. But right now the game is turned off, so that's why the initial position of camera will be the same as that of the initial position. And when the game will run, then only the script will run, and then only the script will run. So, so what I'm doing is I'm setting my initial position of the player, the transform that I will copy it. You will have to go on the transform directly and then copy, and then you will copy the position or rotation anything. I will copy the player directly. You press on copy, and then you can press on component directly, and then go to camera holder and then paste it there. That will set your initial position, which is not being which is not related to game, which is just related to the current scene that I'm in. So I will paste it in the component value. So it will set the values according to what the player is having. So if I start the game again, I'm able to see the current position that I'm in is actually this one, which is due to the script. But now what I did is I set the initial position as this one. Actually, the this thing as this is not the right. It's not the front of the there. This is actually the front of the player. So I will erase it one. So this is the front of the player. Okay, now what we do is we have the initial player. So I will place my I will place my gun in the scene. I will place it such that I will set it first as their position as 0, 0, and then I will drag it over my player's orientation so that wherever my player is orienting, the rifle will orient on the same way. Okay. Or what you can do is just remove it here. Just drag it directly and make it as child of the orientation. Now what I will do is what I will do is I will rotate it such that it will be shown in my game view. So you are able to see it. This is pretty needless basic drag from. Now if I see this it should be like a set 3 is set to 16. Now I'm able to see it as a game, as a first person. Right? So now let's play the so wherever I'm going to, uh, it is a bit down. Now so wherever I'm going to and wherever I'm looking over, this thing is also looking over to that same area. Okay. Now what we have to do is we have to project everything from the game. Okay. Uh, then what we will do is we make a just give me a second. Okay. So what we will do is now we will add the script to it. What before that just create a right click over it and then add a empty game object. Name it as something as buzzer or like name it as like shooting point. So what this will do, this is the game, this is the child object of this rifle from where the bullet will be instantiated. Okay, yeah, getting my point is like is the point from where the bullet will be shoot, will get shoot. Okay, so yeah. So so what in my script when I'm making the script, I will take the reference of the shooting point. First of all, just right click over the rifle and then select over prefab and then click on unpack completely. And again, coming to this point, it is a shooting point. It is a place from where our bullet will be instantiated. Like whenever we will click or will do the mouse click, here will be the bullet instantiate and then it will be thrown from this. Okay, so let's make the script. So what we'll do is we'll go to my rifle. I will now create a new script and I think I will name it as a projector. Got Mr. Got. So I will first question. Now I will open the script. When you open a new script, when you open a new script, you will see this script. You just remove this script. You will add by yourself. And okay, let's start. So first of all, for this auto generation. So first of all, I will turn on this Copilot. Will turn on. Okay, good. Now I will make a bullet game object, so I can get the reference of bullet for public game object bullet. So what is it? It's taking a public reference of bullet. So in the while in the game in the Unity, I will be able to see a variable named bullet, and it requires a game object which is named as it requires a game object which I will take as a bullet. So every time I click the mouse click, a new bullet will be instantiated. Now, actually, we have to do a lot of things. So just be with me. We'll make some variables here. So we'll explain later. Will it's a float variable. It's shoot force. Now uh, public float again. Now from shoot force we need upward force. Now public force spread is we need a tool. Uh, we call this follow. You can also declare a variable like using comma so that multiple variables having the same data type and same public or private. So they'll have can be declared easily. Public variable. Uh, this should not. is the trend taking the transform data from the FBI. Now some things as a I will tell about this. A big function which is bullet like maximum size. It should has two. Now I create an update. So update what update we have this. I will create a function in my just be with me. I will animation is animation. Say animation text will be. Create my input. So this is the output. So it is taking the input. I will explain this. Okay. First, okay. First, I will explain what happened. Okay. So this I will come to first. Let's see on a way. So there is a bullet left equals magazine size. So bullet left means current that count of bullets that will be storing bullet left that will be the size of maximum in the starting of the game because yeah and ready to shoot it will be true because it will be shooting we don't have any reload to start and then it will call in update which is called Envisage. So it will take my input which the name suggests it will be my input every time the update will be called. So it will be checking that I have done click mouse click or not. If the animation display is not full, I mean the animation display uh, is the okay. So there is a text mesh pro. So if I will go to the UI and let's tell you what. So if you want to add UI, so what you have to do is select UI, click on canvas, then inside the canvas, inside the canvas. Canvas will be the place over which you will add your UI. Inside that, select some screen space overlay, then scale with screen size. Select it as reference resolution. Select as something like 1980 by 1080, because that is the standard resolution that we have. Match with height. Now, in this, what we will do is, this is the canvas that we are in. Inside, as a child object, the canvas, we will add some UI like text. This text will show the correct bullet count. So add a text. So this is generally a text which is like if I change that, give some text, so you will be able to see it in the game also. That you are able to see that this is a small text which I added. So it will be seen in the game as a UI. I will remove this. I am adding a text mesh pro, which is a new generation text. So there in the UI, you will see text mesh pro also. So add it. That will be asking for some inputs. So import it. Alright. Now empty it for now. Now take it as on the better place. At top left, I have placed. So using direct transform, click on top left. Now select as bold. Do some font changing things. Add some text like for testing. Like we can see this opposite side. So I have to place it here. I will make it as some dark font. So I will make it as red. That is good. Alright. If I see in the game, if I'm writing some numbers, I'm able to see this in this format. Okay. Alright. In the top of that, I will write heading for this. I will add again one more text mesh over here, over top of it, and placing it over top of this, and just writing that bullet count. And I will give some font to electronic visible. It will be looking like this. Put TNT again and set its font also to the color to some other things. So I will take it as blue. Okay, we have got our text component where they were pressed text. Now we go into my our text technology. So this will show the current text to it. So it will show like bullet left divided by bullet further, and this is the maximum size. So it is showing the total, and it is showing the current bullet that we are using. Okay. Now I'll go to my input. It will take my input. It will check whether I have pressed or not. So if so allowed button hold is a variable that I have taken. So it is saying that if I'm allowed to hold or not. Okay. So if this is true, if this is true, then there is shooting. There is a shooting which will get the component which is we call mouse zero. Mouse zero is the left click, and else if it's not, then shooting will be done. I mean, okay. So now press on get key code R, which is actually your reload key. So it will reload your magazine. So I will make the reload function. So the conditions are if the bullets left are less than magazine size. So this to ensure that this does not exceed the magazine size, they will do this. And reload is currently it's not currently reloading. So while reload function is running, the reloading will be false. I mean true, so that we cannot call again and again reload while reload. Okay. Now there is a shooting thing. So if ready to shoot is true, there is a variable, and like it will be called whenever we are not shooting, then this will be true, and this shooting is also true, and there is it's not reloading, no, and the bullet left is more than zero, then bullet shot will be done. So bullet shot will be the count bullet. Okay. Um, and the short function will be called. Short function is a function where you will check how to shoot a bullet. Okay, so let me check it again. My input is correct. Okay. All right. So, we'll go to shoot. So we'll make the shoot function now. So while it will shoot, then at that point, a ready to shoot variable will be false because we don't want. All right. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some more obstacles to here. So that we can see that the enemy will change its position according to the location. Now, what I will do is I will first you will go to window and then in the package manager you will search for Navmesh. So select Unity registry here, and then you will see AI navigation. Attach it to import it, and then go to your enemy area, and then search for Navmesh agent. Enter, and then you have to include this Navmesh agent in your enemy. Now, what we will do is we will make a Navmesh surface object. So create an MG object, name it as Navmesh surface. Add a Navmesh surface to it, and then click on bake. So you will see this thing being done. So it will generate the path, or it will generate the free surface over which enemy can move with. Okay. So next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna in our enemy AI, we're gonna come to our enemy AI now. So how the enemy AI is working is so I will explain it here as well. So what it is doing is so just so what is happening here is it is we are having two components, which is attack player range and the other one is search player range. And if let's assume the player is outside both of these ranges. So while if the player are outside of both these ranges, so it will have a component which is roam around. So what it will do is it will roam around some radius, like randomly it will roam around here and there, and roam around here and there and search for player. And if the player is inside the locate player or search player region, so it gonna follow directly to the player. Like it has seen the player, but it's not in the attack range, so that it can shoot over the player. So it can follow the player. And when it comes inside the attack range, when the player comes inside the attack range, it will attack to the player. Okay, so these three things are important to know in an AI. This is the basic syntax. This is the basic logic we're gonna use. Okay, now coming to the enemy AI, enemy, coming to enemy AI script, I will explain the script now. So what we have here is on the start of the script, there is a it will search for a game object with the tag which will find a player dot transform. So I will name my player as exactly. You should name your player exactly as player so that it will be located and add a tag as player. Okay, so and add a tag as player over it and create a new layer. Add layer. Create a new layer. Name it as what is player. Okay, and add that body player over it. Next thing is it will get the agent component of it so that we can use the agent component provided by Unity. Next, every time it updated, these things has to be done, which is player in sight range or player in attack range. So it will create a sphere using physics dot check sphere. So it will create a sphere of a radius of sight range. It will check that whether it is having the layer of play what is player or not. So if that sight range is having any game object which is having the layer as Boris player, so that will come into sight range and it will also check is it in the attack range. So if it is in the sight range, like if it is not in the sight range, like not is there, not in the sight range and not in the attack range, so it will do its patrolling. So we will name it as patrolling. So it will be patrolling here and there. Otherwise, if it's in the side range but not in the attack range, we will chase the player. So we know where the player is, so we will directly go to the player. And if it is in the attack range and is in the side range also, then we will attack to the player. So in the patrolling, what happens is so we will create walk points, different walk points we will be creating. So so it will be randomly selecting search walk or using search walk point. It will be randomly selecting some walk points using random range over a range of some radius. So it will be revolving in a certain radius and selecting some random radius over there. Now we'll go to vector 3 direction to walk points. So it will be taking direction to walk point. Okay. Now if the distance to walk point or magnitude is less than 1, so it will set that walk point as false because we have already reached that walk point. Now, this I want to explain. Now, chase the player. That's the agent. We have agent that using navmesh agent. Like here, agent is the get component of navmesh. So we have a function here that set destination. So it will set the destination to the player position. And now we have attached player component. So how it does it? It's like first it sends the destination to the transform the player, and if we look at player, we have transform dot look at function, which is similar to look at. And then if it's already attacked, if it's not already attacked, then it will use the attack this attack script here. So what is happening in this is it's creating a new rigid body. So it is actually a projectile which the enemy will shoot to us, and that it will add the force, which I've already explained how it happens in there. And if already attacked, it will set it as true, and then it will invoke a reset attack function. So it will reset the attack. There is a take damage function also. So we have to involve this function while we are shooting over it. So we'll call this function to decrease the health of it. And if health is much less, then it will destroy the enemy. So next thing is destroy enemy. So this will be called through this take damage function, which will destroy itself. Now there is a kit box selection. So what is it is just helpful for us to select to check what is the circle path over it. So it will draw a sphere of ranges, or it will draw two circles. So which is the attack range circle and which is the side range circle. Now let us assign the values to it. So I have some values already. So I will go to enemy. I will go to my enemy and its agent. It will take the enemy player already. So next thing is player. So it will generally detect the player. Otherwise, I'm drag dropping it. What is ground? It's selected as what is ground. So what is ground is like uh, in the ground that we are having. Select the layer as what is ground. Create a layer what is ground and select it like this. And then go to again in script and then what is player select as what is player. Then for health we can take it as 100. Right now we haven't added the health to it. And current work point is 0. It will change according to work point range we will set as something 30. And the time between attacks you can select something like some time will take. So will take 0.5 seconds to take tag different time. We'll create a project tag for this also. So there is site range. So this will determine at how much far it can look the player. So we increase this. So while you increase, you will see the circle increasing. So I will increase this one more cycle. And attack range will be the position where it can attack. Range. Okay. Now, all right. Now what we can do is we can start the game and let's see what. So now what you are seeing is that enemy is moving randomly here and there. And what happens there is let me tell you. So what is happening here is first of all when playing this, you gonna see that this enemy is roaming here and there. And when I come to its side, then you see me and then start attacking. So like see, okay, so we are pretty much in like near the game. Next, next thing is that we're gonna view it from top. So you can see that our enemy, when it comes near the player, it start attacking the player. See, the orientation is not matching right now, and it's experiencing some forces that we there are some adjustments to be done. So we are pretty much created the game. Now next thing is that uh, next thing is that you have to recreate this game. So this is the assignment that I will be doing. I will send the doc also for the assignment in the group. So what you have to do is you have to recreate this game. I've given the game already. So and add some health to it. Like add health to enemy and add health to player and according to our how they are shooting, just decrease their health accordingly. Okay. I will be posting a official doc over which I will be sending the problem statement. It will be in the WhatsApp group already, and yeah, that you have to do. Okay, and the basic game will be I've already given in my GitHub repo. Just clone the repository and open it in your using your Unity, and then in that complete that health component part. Okay, in search of internet anything you like. Okay, so yeah, basically, we have completed our game dev workshop. Okay, so I will end the meeting now, and I will share you the doc for problem statement. You can submit that. That will be a grade. That will be graded for your certificate also. Okay, uh, so any doubt if you have, you can tell them, ask in the group also. Okay, so yeah, thank you.